Oh, it's been a busy, busy, busy day for this big bad devil daddy. As I thank everyone for tuning in earlier this morning for that surprise guest interview from David Vincent, ex Morbid Angel, lead vocalist and bass player. We appreciate that shit. And yeah, and the fact that you're all coming back makes me just, I don't know, my black heart is smiling. How about that? So it's a double shot without my makeup. I know it's crazy, right? But that's the way we do. That's the business, right? So tonight I have all the way from the UK, fellow actor, all around good human, one of the best humans I know, actor, cosplayer, Doug Bayliss. Happy to have you with us. And we're going to talk about your career and how you got started with things. And before we get into that, we're going to take a quick commercial break over at our brothers over there in the UK, Poison Valley Clothing. Check them out. That's right. High quality custom horror t-shirts at a low price of $15. Fast shipping, super high quality. And if you have an idea, David over there at Poison Valley Clothing can make it happen because he is one hell of an artist. Speaking of artists, we are back with the great Doug Bayliss. How are you doing? I understand it's 11 p.m. over there somewhere.
It's very it's getting late here now. Like you say, it's I think everyone's getting to the point now where the sort of energy's gone for the day. But I've always been a bit of a night owl anyway. So for me, it's kind of, I don't mind. I like the night time. It's where all the spooky things happen and all the fun things happen. So there you go.
I'm always saying that's when we do our best work. Our best creative work is at night, because during the day, all you want to do is lay down. I mean, unless you're doing a fun activity that requires sunlight or, that sort of thing. But at night, it's like everything's more quiet and we just get creative. So which of the professions that you have came first? Did you start out as a cosplayer, or did you jump into acting first, or did they both happen at the same time?
No, I mean my love for acting started first. I mean, movies, sort of doing costumes and acting itself started when I was a very young child, but due to circumstances, I've never been able to pursue it at the time that I wanted to. So I've had to do other jobs, other careers I thought maybe I wouldn't even want to do, if by choice, but just purely for the fact to bring money into the family and things like that, So I was an engineer for so many years, and then had an industrial accident many years back. It was at that point I decided to get back in my artistic roots and start getting into sort of like the art and design side of things, doing the cosplay more sort of professionally, and then I just took a gamble with it, and I thought, well, I'm getting older. I'm missing a chance of doing the acting, and I took a gamble, and I'm relatively new to the acting scene as an actor, and I've only done a few things so far, but I took a gamble last year, and sort of like not look back. It's just been fantastic, and all the work I've done so far has been in the US, and I can honestly say it's just been a heck of an experience. Meeting you guys, meeting yourself, and the best thing about it is I think all the people I've met as well. It has been such a humbling.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild ride, It's always interesting how our pain seems to give us a silver lining somewhere.
Yeah,
I've heard some people say, basically traumatic events kind of led them to their career to be like, all right, fuck it all. I'm going to take the gamble. Yeah. We're going to do this. And that's kind of where I was at too. I mean, I was a high school music teacher for 24 years. And I was like, well, I'm either going to be that guy that ends up his mandatory retirement at 65, never act, never take that chance. And I was like, I'm gonna take my retirement, and I'm gonna open up a small business, and then try to see where I can go with acting. So
it's paid off. You're doing fantastic. It's
trying.
I'm really happy to see that, because you've got to. We're only here for a short time, and I think you've got to do something in life for yourself. I mean, we can spend a big chunk of our lives doing things for other people and helping other people, but sometimes you've got to put the brakes on and just be a little bit selfish and say, well, hey, I've just got to try something for me, just for once. And I think we all have to do that. It doesn't make you a bad person, I don't think, but you just got to sort of have that realization that your life is sort of gently ebbing away, and you'll get to the point before where you just things happen, start dropping off, and but so I think that's a big thing. You've just got to take that, trust yourself, and I think dreams can happen.
Absolutely.
It's
got some folks in the comment section want to say hello to you there. We got Kim Flaxman. Apparently calls you Dougie Fresh.
Hello. Hi, Kim and Daisy too. Daisy Ellis and Kim and Daisy. In fact, I've recently sort of become good friends with Kim and Daisy, and we've actually been helping me out distribute leaflets for Michael Pickle's The Dead Place movie, which kicked everything off for me in the acting world.
And what a way to start. Holy crap. As a matter of fact, I want to get that up here real quick. There it is. The Dead Place.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a heck of a movie. It's Michael's had this great vision for this movie for many years now, and he took a leap of faith in himself and decided to push through with this movie. And
oh yeah, it was quite a gamble for him.
Yeah,
I remember when we had him on the Underground a few months back.
That's right. Yeah, I remember watching that.
People, I don't know. It's like I think the average fan just thinks some of this shit is like super easy to do. No, it is not. Scheduling is a nightmare. Making sure that you can afford the trip to do it. It's like I always say, if we go back to some of the most iconic horror characters, they were not steady acting at the time that they made some of those iconic films. They had side jobs too they had to do.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Absolutely. And you've got to pay the bills. You can't rest on your laurels, really. You've got to, you can't sort of sit there waiting for a job to come around before you pay your bills. I mean, we've got all these financial restraints and overheads on us today, and we have to sadly make sure they're all paid, and otherwise we're out on the streets.
Right. But hey, we made a hell of a good film.
Hey, the movie's good. Go and watch it.
Well, and good news is that more than likely the Dead Place will be out hopefully by the summer. I hear through the grapevine.
Um, yes, I think Michael's planning for a summer release.
Nice.
And the movie's, all I can say, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's
Oh no.
we've got some great actors in there. We've got David Howard Thornton, as you know, from Terrifier. We've got Bill August Jr. Playing a voiceover part in the movie.
Bill
And
is
of
just
course,
amazing.
oh yeah, and Beatrice Bopley as well.
Yeah.
The lovely Amanda Kruger, and it's just going to be so much fun. And there are so many other talented actors and production assistants and production crew involved with the movie. And there's so many new up and coming actors as well, who are the youngsters they've got some really good talents between them all, and I think we're going to see them go far in the future, and that's really really good to see. You know, it's a new generation coming up in the horror movie world and sort of starting their journeys too. So that's really
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, it's good to see.
I mean, that movie has. Well, I think I talked about this with Michael. That particular film has such great elements of some of those early iconic horror films because it was always kind of centered around older teenagers in a high school setting. So Nightmare on Elm Street, for instance.
And there is a scene in there which actually pulls from Elm Street. There's a particular scene which I think, if you're an Elm Street fan, like most of us are, when you see the scene and the I remember that sort of scene. So there is an element of Elm Street, as well as Amanda Kruger, of course. I mean, Beatrice, she's in there, but one of the scenes in particular. So it's good, and
she is amazing. I had her on the Underground as well. Oh, looky there!
And here we go. That's another feature another fella you'll be seeing. That's one of my characters in the movie. Sort of, I can show you this because we've had them on before, and that's one of my demon characters in the movie. And this was created by Robert M. Bravo, as most of you know, who is an amazing special effects artist. This was my demon character. They're quite nasty things. You'll see them in the movie. I won't tell you what they do and how many you'll see in the movie, but yes, they're in there and they're nasty. They're called wood demons.
I mean, you can't have a good horror flick without some demons.
Oh, you can't. And of course, in the Reaper's Underground, we've got to have a demon on the show. So I brought this guy out. So yeah, it's.
After all, I am the king of demons. So.
And I mean, and we first met on Attack of the Corn Zombies, which was another movie I did before I came back to the UK, and that was just such an amazing experience as well. I mean, meeting yourself, because we're both huge zombie fans as well, and. This time last year, I never thought I'd be sitting at home. I used to watch The Walking Dead, Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Romero.
Any of the Romero films. Even Zombieland was good.
This time last year, I never thought I'd be tearing around the streets with yourself, looking for flesh to eat. And it was, I really enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah, it's good fun.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we said to each other was, that we kind of felt like this would be kind of a big hit for them. Not only do we know that zombie films are like so, popular and stuff like that, but for the fact that they picked 1969, so it has that classic kind of Romero feel, but lots of good slapstick comedy in there too.
Slapstick comedy and some really, really gory scenes as well. So the gore levels up there, and it's pretty good. It is good, and the feel of the movies as well. I mean, quite a lot of effort to get the 1960s feel with the cars and the
Yeah,
streets.
it's like that whole little town transformed.
So that was pretty good. That was good. And of course, we're going to be back as well, aren't we?
Yep,
There is going to
absolutely.
be Attack of the Corn Zombies Part 2, Return of the Corn Zombies.
Yep, that's going to be filming in the fall. I can't wait for that.
I'm looking forward to that. I really am. Really looking forward to that. It should be good.
Well, I mean, especially since, none of us got knocked out by Magdalena. So,
well, we didn't, did we? We were lucky, We kind of, without ruining the movie for anybody too much. I think you're going to see us shambling around again.
absolutely. And I'm really excited about the story because it obviously has new survivor characters.
Yes.
Know, so it's like, cool. Who do we tear apart this time?
And I think the settings, there's going to be there'll be some different settings as well. So that's going to be fun, some different locations to have the zombies hiding and whatnot else. That's going to be good fun. And your makeup as well. I mean, I remember we were all sitting around having our makeup done, and we had a great big sort of hall laid out for the zombies, and the makeup artists and Beth Metcalf were trying to get round to us as quick as they could and stick our makeup on. And yours looked phenomenal. I thought they did such a good job with your how they did the colouring and that. You look straight out of George Romero era zombie, and I just thought that was fantastic.
Some hill jack that fell off the farm truck. I'm like, I fit right in there.
And of course,
but you went all in with your character, though. You actually gave him a backstory and everything.
Yeah, he's kind of developed into a bit of an anti-hero-y type character, because I love delving into characters and if I do a character, I like to think, well, what would he have done as a job? What would he have done in after work or a previous, what's his daily life like, and then before he was turned to a zombie or before something turning into a demon, and try and take that on board, and I got this zombie character, and I've always wanted to do a soldier zombie in a movie. I just always really liked the idea, and I was kind of stuck for something to do because I was limited on what I could bring over in my suitcases for traveling and that for the movies. And at the time, I hadn't had any confirmation I was actually in the movie itself. So when I actually came over to the US the first time round, I knew I'd come over just to do the Dead Place movie.
Right.
Confirmation I was going to be in Attack of the Corn Zombies until I was actually over in the States with you guys. So I had to sort of get my costume together whilst I was over in the US. So luckily, I mean, I had a bit of time between the two movies, and I managed to get in touch with a few online Army and Navy stores and get some gear together. And, I had this gear sent to me at various motels and stuff like that. And it's like trying to cobble it all together. And I was quite pleased with it. It turned out. I think it turned out.
Yeah, the production crew dug the hell out of it. So
yeah, he's kind of developing into a bit of an anti-hero. His story still goes on,
I mean, and it's perfect for the time frame too.
Yes, of course. Vietnam War started 1965, something like that. So finished in about 75. So that's a 10-year stretch. I think it ran something roughly about 10 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, totally believable.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the unique thing that you do in some of these roles. It's like, they the production crew says, just wear something that would be indicative of the times, and you went the extra mile. And I think that's where your brilliant cosplay kind of comes into things too, because you were able to get that all together, on very, limited budget, whatever, and really went all in for what I think most people would look at as just being like an extra thing, but it really wasn't, because if you notice throughout the film, and many folks out there, thank you so much for watching the film, getting signed copies from myself, that we're in it a pretty fair amount of time. So
yes,
it's
absolutely.
kind of a testament. Like, you could just kind of tell which zombies really kind of stood out, in some of those scenes.
I think everybody did so good. I mean,
Absolutely.
the girls, the young ladies,
they knocked it out of the park
with their eyes, as well, and the eerie eyes they were wearing with the contact lenses, and that was fantastic.
Awesome, Cody. He says my copy stays on my desk.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I just love doing it. I think when you love doing stuff like this, you do try to put your soul and heart into it, and I think that's why you've got to try and follow your dreams, because if it's something you enjoy and you sort of can manifest your enjoyment into work, then it takes that sort of pain of having to work away, and you're doing something you enjoy rather than something you don't want to do, 9 to 5, and you think, oh, I don't want to do this,
and it's like, it's so funny, some people will bitch and moan about having to do a scene over and over and over again. It's like, nah, this is what you're here to do.
Absolutely.
They have to get different angles and shit like that, because it ends up making things look that much bigger. And and in indie film, there's only so much you can do, depending upon what budget you got. And I just feel like between The Dead Place and our film especially, they really did a phenomenal job with what they had to work with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the first time I'd ever been on a movie set, and sort of working as an actor, and then sort of doing some behind the scenes work as well for Michael and for Alan Werner as well, S.J. Herman. Seeing how much work and effort goes into each set and take, and what you have to do, and the different cameras used, like you say, the different angles, everything like that. It's a heck of a lot of work, and you're doing a full day's work plus some, nearly every day of the week for a good solid week, and then maybe extra shoots over the weekend, and then you're back to it until it's done. But everybody just seems to love doing it and pulling together and getting the job done. It really is a phenomenal feeling. And the feeling I felt, I mean, I've worked in industry where it's just been a grind from start to finish, when it's been heavy, dirty work, and
sure,
you've just not wanted to even get up out of bed in the morning to even go there and do it. Some of it's been that bad.
Usually, what's going to go wrong today? What's going to happen?
And nobody wants to be there. They're looking at their watch every 5 minutes and thinking, oh, is that the time? Is that the time? But something I noticed on the movie sets was that everybody just wanted to stay there and just carry on. It was like, go on, it's time to go. But it was, no, we want to stay and do a bit more. So that's the difference, I think. And that's the difference of doing something you like and don't like doing. But yeah, the movie set work was fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. And since I think I have it here, I just need to double check. Do I? Yes, I do. The film that we've been talking about is Acrostar Films. S.J. Herman directed. Attack of the Corn Zombies. And if you haven't caught it yet, which there's no excuse,
There is no excuse.
but here's a little taste for you.
This goes out to all the groovy people at the Nest Corn Festival who are just chilling out and enjoying some of the best corn in the Midwest. DJ Smoke and Dan will be heading your way right after the show.
You kids didn't go to the festival, so you missed out on Bob's special ingredient that he added to the corn this year.
What are you staring at, you freak? Why do you even come to these parties if you're gonna act like a bitch?
Who else is to blame, Mom? I've seen the way you treat Dad. If I was him, I'd be gone just as much.
Don't you talk to me that way.
Bob was hoping that that new fertilizer would help us get the corn on the market faster. We went over to see if we could help him, and he lunged at me. He started biting me.
So it seems like people are coming back from the dead, murdering others, and also going missing, apparently. So that's cool.
Yeah, do the dead people look like that?
It's the festival. Almost everyone in town went, and they're all infected, and the ones who didn't go are about to be.
You almost got us killed back there.
So there was old Doug and I over there to the left, depending upon what side of the screen you're on. But that was us rotting away. There's just something epic about that alleyway scene that people tell me all the time. Like, that was just incredible. Like, the way it was shot, seeing, zombies coming by and how they, were doing individuals, and how Magdalena was like knocking off a few. And then at one point she was just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm just going to keep walking.
It's just total claustrophobia of being stuck down that alleyway and having all those zombies coming from both sort of different directions. And yeah, that was a good scene. Very good scene.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that really worked out good for you. The fact that you had originally come out to do the Dead Place.
It did.
And you were able to pick up a second one while you were already here. So, I mean, you can't beat that. What a great way to start your acting career, knock out 2 films.
It was. And, I've got to give a shout out to Angel Bradford, who sort of, we actually met on the set of the Dead Place, and we were talking about movies. I was chatting to her, and she was saying, she'd got another movie planned, which she never ended up doing, and that was Attack of the Corn Zombies. And I said, I was hoping to jump on that as well. And she sort of kind of got in touch with Anne and said, hey, Doug's still here in the US, and if you need him, sort of for the movie. And because then Anne Myrna got in touch and said, hey, yeah, come on over. So yeah, so it was thank you, Angel, for sort of helping me connect with Anne when I came over. That was appreciated.
Hey, Travis, what's going on, buddy?
Hello.
Yeah, you'll meet me one of these days. Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of exciting. I got 2 film projects coming up with Grinners and then of course Return of the Corn Zombies. So, and possibly a third. Not too sure yet, but stay tuned to Reaper's Underground. Find out.
Yes, I can't wait to hear more. You're doing. I mean, yourself. I mean, your acting's taken off now, and you've been doing a lot more movies, and
A little bit.
Really enjoying it too, So that's
Oh man, 30 years behind the drum kit, playing in front of audiences all over the country. It's one thing to be back in the fray and everyone's looking at you, but it's another one to be on film. Doing, showing your real personality, multiple personalities. I mean, come on, none of us are sane. But I always kind of figured, since horror comedy has always been my thing, Evil Dead, even any of the like scary movie stuff or whatever.
The Never Living Dead, and
yeah, Return of the Living Dead was hilarious. I was always like, people always tell me I'm funny, but I'm scary at the same time. So I can give you the best of both worlds.
That's actually one of my go-to movies. That is Return of the Living Dead and Part 2 as well. I love both of those. Wasn't too keen on the series as it went on, but the first two really are Return of the Living Dead movies for me. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like that new Crow movie remake that's coming out. I'm like, it's hard to beat a fantastic cast if you don't have the same level of acting. I feel like it falls short. And of course, the script is super important too.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah. There's been a lot of mixed reviews with that coming out. I think I've seen a lot of different posts on Facebook, but I think it's too early for anybody to really make a decision on it at this stage. I think it's just a wait and see moment. He's obviously not fitting a lot of people's expectations, but it might be fantastic. So
I mean, it remains to be seen because most people who have read the comics, the graphic novels, Eric Draven's character looks a certain way, and if you don't have that, it's really not Eric Draven. Nothing against Skarsgård at all as an actor. I think he's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But what everyone's having trouble with is that they ended up making Eric Draven look like a failed rapper. Or Machine Gun Kelly, if you will. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I get you want to try to get the younger, age bracket really interested in this film.
Yeah.
But you have a legion of fans that go back to the 90s when the first one came out. So again, almost an unbeatable cast.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's going to be very hard for the original fans to sort of swallow that one, I think, and
oh yeah, they got a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Apparently, we have a lot of other comments here too. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, Kyler? Anytime you show up is a good thing, brother. No worries. And Cody says it's horrible. People have been deep diving on this, and it's like, yeah. But I digress. So let's switch the focus back to what you're working on now. There was a couple things on your IMDb that I was kind of curious about.
Yes.
And I'm assuming your part in A Hard Place got kind of put on the back burner.
No, it's.
Or are you still going to film that?
It's coming up in April.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, there's two separate filming dates. The first part's just been finished, as you well know, with
okay,
the guys.
I was wondering about that because I was like, well, where's Doug? How's come Doug hasn't said hello?
I couldn't get on to the first part, but I'm scheduled in for the second part, which is it's going to be filmed at the end of April, and that's the last part. Then we should see the movie sometime after that. But yeah, so I'm still doing it, and I'll be back in.
Awesome.
So I'll be back on your turf in April. I'll have to give you a.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check in, or I'm gonna have to find you.
So yeah, that's going to be another interesting scene as well. That's going to be another interesting scene. So it's kind of like a sideline scene, but I won't give you any spoilers. But yeah, it's going to be a good scene. It's going to be, and there's quite a few sort of like regular indie go-goers joining us, and people who've been in movies we've already been in. I think we've got Harry Maguire and Jeremy Dixon, and I think it's Travis doing a remote part. He might be doing a remote part. I think.
Awesome.
Weasel and obviously myself, and I think Ronnie McGuire's doing it as well. So there's quite a few regular sort of faces doing
nice.
So it should be good.
And what's your I forget what your role is in this film.
Well, funnily enough, I'm playing a zombie.
Well, shit, you got that down pat.
Yeah, so it's
But just
it's
a
gonna
different
be,
setting.
gonna be a zombie. Which I'm surprised because I wasn't sure if you were doing this one or not. Because I was trying to see if I could see your name scheduled in for it at all, but I didn't. But because I thought, well, I'm sure Steve.
Well, yeah, and my wife was supposed to do it too, but there was some stuff there. So, yeah, I didn't know that they were even looking for zombies.
Well, I guess we can only do so much as normal humans.
Well,
with our time. But
sometimes we make the impossible happen, and
right.
if we can, it's great. Everything kind of comes down to scheduling, that's kind of the nice thing about the Underground and the Moorground universe.
Yeah.
Is that if we have to set it down for a weekend, we can. That kind of thing. So it just depends. It just depends if it's the right time, right situation, and it's not 20 million years away. Travel's always fun, though. I don't mind being on the road. I just don't. I'm not a fan of flying.
I don't mind flying, but I did enjoy our road trip back from Illinois to Omaha. That was good fun. That's I think that's the longest I've ever been in a car before.
Yeah, for sure. The kind of one of the nice things I think about traveling by car is that you can take a break for a minute.
Yes.
Stop, you get something to eat, you stretch your legs, whatever. Airplane is like you're there, and if you get to a point where you're so fucking irritated, you want to go, I would like to, stop for a second. Can we do that? You can't because you're 32,000 feet in the air. So and I'm a Viking, man. I belong on the fucking water or land. That's what we do. Oh, dude, I feel that. Kyler says, hate heights, but hate the ocean more? Really? Did not know that. Well, okay. I don't know. I would think you'd be fine as long as you were on like a cruise ship. I mean,
I don't know. Would you want to be stuck on a cruise ship? Maybe if they had an outbreak or something, or.
Well, at least they would have an open bar.
If you're on a plane, it would be over quite quickly, I guess. So, if you're on a cruise ship, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. It just depends. So that's awesome. So you got that to look forward to in April. And then there was one other one that I was actually really kind of excited to see. This one right here.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about this this fan film. This looks amazeballs.
Right. Yes, I'm still yet to fill my role for that one too. That is going to be a remote role for me. For that movie.
Okay.
It is, yeah. So it's got to be a remote role because I couldn't get out to location to actually do the filming for the main characters and main cast. So I booked a remote role for that one. So I'm still kind of waiting to see what I need to do for that. So yeah, it's all will be revealed.
Yeah, I was just talking to a good friend of mine who's working on his first film, and I get to do something remote. So I'm actually
great.
kind of looking forward to the experience because when I'm in my environment,
Yeah.
I come to life like that much more. And you want me to film it? Fuck yeah, let's do that. Cody says, drunk on a boat sounds more fun than drunk on a plane. I've been drunk on the plane, and guess what? Didn't help. And then Kim says, love being drunk on a boat in Ibiza.
Well, he's got a point, you know.
I mean, as long as we're not on, you know, that famous boat in Jaws, you know, where they're drinking in the lower deck there, and then suddenly, you know, big fish starts.
The orca. Is it the orca? I think it's the orca.
Yeah, the orca. That's right.
Yeah.
I figured one of us would get it.
Still one of my all-time favorite films, and of course, you know that's really a horror film as well, isn't it, Jaws? You know, I think people forget it's actually really a horror film more than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's face it. Whether people love it or hate it, it has inspired every other shark movie that has ever been made, except for Sharknado.
Yeah. Or
Because there's no saving that book.
Attack or something like that. Six-headed shark attack or
that sci-fi flick. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
And every time they chop a head off, it grows two more, and it's a crazy. I actually sat there and watched the whole thing all the way through, and it was crazy.
It's like one of the most epic scenes in Jaws was, you know, smile, you son of a bitch. I mean, who doesn't want to be Brody? We're getting the big revenge, you know.
Brilliant. Great cast and great movie. I mean, that sort of scared everybody sitting on the toilet for months.
Yeah, I think Alligator managed to give us that. Well, you know, people used to, you know, pet dies, you flush it down the toilet, right? Well, next thing you know.
Well, I mean, there's rumors that there are alligators down there, you know, that are getting quite big, you know, because they're just sort of hiding away and eating rats and things and
all kinds of toxic stuff. Sure.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's not Pennywise grabbing you, you know, out of the fucking grate in the street. It's a goddamn alligator. Can't get away from that. So have you been looking at some newer roles, new possibilities, or?
I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens now. There are a couple of possibilities out there, but at the moment, I'm kind of just sort of waiting to get everything else out of the way and see what happens, and financially as well, because coming from the UK, it's not a cheap venture. You know, it does cost a lot.
Mm-mm. That's a long trip.
Yeah, you know, I have to recover the financial side of it each time I come back from it. So it takes me a while to save up again to be able to come back over. So I mean, there is actually a zombie film which I'm doing in this country, but that's yet to be filmed, and that's a bit of a comedy horror type movie called Zombikini. So
I love it.
I'll let you imagine what that's going to be like.
Well, I'm actually kind of in regular contact with a UK director, so I'm gonna have to pass him along to you. He was just getting done doing a vampire film over there.
Nice.
I'm imagining not too far from you. I mean, depending upon what part of the UK you're in. But yeah, I could definitely see you working with him. That guy knows how to crowdfund.
I love vampires.
What's that?
I love vampires. I'd love to play a vampire in a movie.
Absolutely. I don't know. I feel like I could do either one because I grew up watching the Hammer horror films.
Yes.
So Christopher Lee set the bar, I don't know, higher than any other vampire possibly could in film history, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, Bram Stoker's Dracula was really good, but guess what? They're about to do another adaptation.
I cringe every time they happen.
Yeah. What are they? What are they gonna make them look like this time? You know, I actually thought they did pretty good with Dracula Untold. I thought that was pretty badass. And it's like, well, how come they wouldn't give that a sequel? I guess the production company probably didn't believe in it.
No, and have you seen the last voyage of the Demetrius?
It was absolutely brilliant.
I haven't seen it yet, so I just wanted a bit of feedback on that because you know, do I sit there and watch it all? Because I heard a lot of negative things about it, but if you think it's worth a watch, then I'll definitely.
You know, I was like, finally, somebody realized that I mean, if you've read the novel, and I've read the novel, probably 20, 30 times. There are scenes, there are sections of that book that literally you could do a whole movie on. So when they decided to pull that section out, what it was like, you know, being under the thumb of Dracula as they're transporting him. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
That would make an excellent film. They were real. Very ballsy with it, I think, especially how they make him look and all of that stuff. It's not like you're Frank Langella, you know. No. But I think you'll dig it.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll have to stick that on my to watch list, I think, and give that one a try. Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
So you do a lot of cosplaying, and you know a lot of folks in indie film and people that are fans of horror obviously cosplay a lot. So what are some of your most favorite characters to try to do?
I think Freddy is definitely one of my favorite cosplays at the moment. I mean, I grew up with Freddy Krueger, and it was at a time where I was sort of really getting into art and comics and stuff and movies and things. And so Freddy Krueger and to actually sort of do him later on in life has been brilliant. You know, I just loved doing the Freddy Krueger cosplay. But then again, I probably just about got the right size for Freddy, but I can't really pull off a Jason or a Michael because I'm just like a short ass. I'm sort of 5'9", so so I haven't got the height for all those really cool characters, you know. But apart from Freddy, of course. But yeah, I do. I'm just dabbling with a Negan character as well. So I'll do a Negan cosplay at some point. But yeah, Freddy is my sort of like my mainstay. And then I've got a couple of other characters on the go, sort of thing. I've got doing like an Indiana Jones one and Man with No Name.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood, sort of Man with No Name with a Western sort of on the cards, on the back burner. So, but Freddy's my mainstay at the moment. He's a pretty good character to do. I do a Michael Myers as well, and I've got the Michael Myers gear here, but
well, you know, I don't think many people notice this much. The original guy who plays Michael Myers is not super tall. Obviously, in the Rob Zombie films, I mean, the actor that played him was damn near 8 feet tall. It's like, what? Michael turns into a fucking mutant?
Yeah, he's a big guy. I mean, Tyler Mane, straight from wrestling, you know, he's
yeah.
fantastic guy. I met him actually
Nice.
last year in Denver during the first sort of Comic-Con that the Dead Place team went to. And I actually had a quick chat with Tyler, and he's a nice guy. You know, he's a big guy still.
There's a couple of suggestions out here for you too. Says yes, you need to do a Wolverine.
Wolverine. Oh, well, that is on the cards. People keep saying, do Wolverine, but I just like,
You could totally pull it off.
I might give him a go.
That would be a lot of fun. Cricket also says play a werewolf.
She knows I hate werewolves.
Oh no. Now, is it because you just don't find it interesting enough?
They scare the hell out of me.
Okay, that was my next thought. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so story go. Well, what happened is me and my sister used to watch a lot of sort of horror films late at night, and
it was
I got it to come and watch them when we were youngsters, and I said, hey, come out. I said, American Werewolf in London started. And she came into the room and sat on the floor. And we were watching American Werewolf in London as two sort of pretty young kids. You know, we shouldn't have been watching it. We should have been in bed. And
I feel that.
She ended up being sick, I think. And it just gave me the heebie-jeebies for like months. And it was certain scenes in a movie. And it's supposed to be a sort of semi-comedy horror film. But as a kid, you know, I don't know, it's something about it really scared the hell out of me. And ever since then, I've hated werewolves. And
they single-handedly made the best transformation scene in horror history. And you feel every bit of the pain that the actor is conveying.
Yeah.
You watch the bones change and crack. I mean, that alone can scare the hell out of you, you know?
It did. But that's what's horror. That is exactly what horror's about. It should do. It should scare you. And I know we shouldn't have been watching it anyway. We were way too young at the time. I remember going back into the early 80s or something like that, you know, and but yeah, I mean that's what horror should do. It should scare the hell out of you. And I wish films would do that to me today. I want to see films do that to me today. I want to be scared. I want to.
Yeah, we've been waiting for that for like 20 fucking years now. Honestly, I think Hereditary was the only one so far that gave me like whoa vibes. You know.
And it's usually the jump scares with me, the noises. I think that always get me. If I'm going to jump in a movie, it's going to be because of the noise. I think more than anything, you know. So I always jump at the noise, at the incidental jump scare music or something. You know.
Oh, they're brilliant. Sometimes,
yeah, absolutely.
Because they must have took a page out of, let's say, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. There was little to no music in any of the scenes, but you did have some like weird, trippy sounds that would happen around some of the action. So,
and that's what I mean. Going back to like the older films, like Halloween, and that's from the.
Yeah.
I mean, that music in that movie was absolutely phenomenal, you know, and it made you jump. You know, I jumped. I still jump now and again with it. If I'm not.
Oh yeah. Like as soon as you hear that piano part start to play, you know it's about to go down. So what would be, as we're coming close to the hour here, what would be your top 3 favorite horror films of all time?
Oh, that is a stinker.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
That is a real stinker, yeah. Because I'm a fan of so many horror films for so many different reasons.
Right.
Carpenters and Kubrick's films, you know. I mean, good grief,
man.
Start with it. Okay, so I'm going to go with The Fog because I love The Fog. That's
the original.
The original The Fog.
Terrifying.
You see, see, I want to say so many different movies, and you know, so if I go back to the classic eras, I'm going to have to say the films that really struck core to me. So, okay, I'm going to go with Day of the Dead, the original Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Love that. Love that movie, Day of the Dead. What else? And you say, I got to go with Nightmare on Elm Street. Because ready. But that isn't my old, you know, I would say those three, but there's just so many others. And I hate leaving films out because each one has so many different qualities and reasons to like them. And I mean, of the modern era, I think my most favorite film of recent times would be The Terrifier, because you know, that film sort of brought the horror back to people again, where you've got this maniac running around and nobody wins, you know, at the end of the movie. And that's good, because
that's
so many films, everybody walks away happy at the end as if nothing's ever happened. And, you know, Terrifier, everybody's dead. So
and thank hell for that, you know, because everyone always thinks that no matter what horrific thing happens, you know, that everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows at the end. But that's not what made the horror genre, you know, as amazing as it is. It was supposed to trifle with your feelings.
Yeah, you've got to be. I think it's got to take you out of that safety net and that safety zone, and you've got to be in that sort of uncertainty of not having somebody to save you, not getting to safety, and the killer, you know, sort of still catching up with you, and things like that, or whatever's going to happen. And I think there's too much safety in some of these films. I know there's all sorts of rules and regulations and things like that creeping in these days, which is a shame. But it's just the way it is. But it's just why I like indie films so much, you know, because the gore levels tend to up it 10 notches, and you know, there's less restrictions and more can happen, and that's it's good. That's indie films really pave the way.
Absolutely. I feel like it challenges you too mentally, because like, what would you do in that scenario? You know, how would you handle it? Do you think you would do a better job than the final girl, or, you know, whoever ends up getting away, or at least they think they get away? You know, it's like, what would you do? Well, what would you do different? You know, so awesome. Well, man, it has been an absolute blast having you on the show, and definitely happy for all your success. Everybody out there in Morgrat universe, be looking for The Dead Place coming out sometime
Please do.
in the
You'll
summer.
like it.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you so much for having me on here tonight.
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry to put you up there. I didn't mean to cut you up there, but thank you for having me on.
Sometimes there's a delay, you know. But yeah, man, very happy and excited for your journey, and we look forward to seeing more of you. So as you have projects come out and stuff like that, definitely want you to come on back to the underground, you know, and help promote, you know, what you're doing, and be looking forward to Return of the Corn Zombies as well.
Hey, that's going to be great. And yeah, I'm going to hopefully catch up with you later on this year for that. And we'll be back on the underground together as Corn Zombies. So that'd be cool.
I think we may have to go live from set. How fun would that be?
Hey,
that'd be kind of fun. It just won't be my usual, you know, paint job, which I'm sure everyone is missing right now. I'm at my shop, so I couldn't paint myself up. So
Zombie edition of the Reapers Underground, it's coming.
Absolutely. And thank you to everybody who tuned in for this interview. It's just a testament to your ability to entertain others, your charisma, your energy, and directors out there, Look out for this guy. I'm telling you, he's a good one.
Take care, and I do appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And
It's
we need to hook up as well, you know, and keep in touch. And
yes,
that'll
definitely.
be good. That'll be good.
Hell yeah. So lasting message for any would-be actors that tuned in tonight, and as well as fans that you already have.
Please don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't ever give up. No matter how hard they seem or impossible, magic can happen, and it will. If you put your mind to do something, you can follow that dream. And if you want to get into acting and the movie industry, you can do. We'll help you. I'll help you. You know, get in touch with me. Get in touch with Steve here, and you know, we'll put you on the right ladder and introduce you to people. We'll see you do well. Honestly, please ever give up with your dreams. Just follow them and stick with them, and you know, things will work out.
Absolutely. Got to manifest all that good, positive energy. And don't forget, though, because you also have to always remember to stay heavy.